Imagine walking into a casino, the sound of clinking glasses and murmurs of excitement filling the air. You've got a thrill-seeker's grin on your face and a wallet full of hopes and dreams. But have you ever stopped to think, what if you could turn the tables on the house? What if you could uncover the secrets that casinos don't want you to know and use them to your advantage? Well, today we're about to spill the beans on 3 secret winning hacks that casinos would rather keep under wraps. First, let's set the scene. You're sitting at a blackjack table, the dealer's shuffling the cards, and you're trying to make sense of the numbers. You've heard of basic strategy, but you're not quite sure how to apply it. That's where our first hack comes in, card counting. Now, before you start imagining yourself as a character from a Hollywood movie, let me tell you, card counting is not as complicated as it sounds. It's simply a matter of tracking the high and low cards that have been played and adjusting your bets accordingly. The key is to identify when the deck is rich in high cards, and that's when you start to bet big. Of course, casinos don't want you to know this, because it gives you a significant edge over the house. But here's the thing, card counting is not just about winning big. It's also about minimizing your losses. By tracking the cards, you can identify when the deck is cold, and that's when you start to bet small. It's a delicate balance, but trust me, it's worth mastering. I remember a story about a friend who used card counting to win a small fortune at a casino in Vegas. He was a beginner, but he took the time to learn the strategy, and it paid off in a big way. Of course, the casino wasn't too happy about it, but that's a story for another time. Now, let's move on to our second hack, slot machine manipulation. You probably heard of the myth that slot machines can be manipulated by pulling the lever a certain way or by using a specific technique. Well, let me tell you, there's some truth to that myth. You see, slot machines use a random number generator to determine the outcome of each spin. But what you might not know is that these generators can be influenced by external factors, such as the machine's temperature or the number of players using it. By understanding how these factors work, you can increase your chances of winning. For example, some slot machines are more likely to pay out during peak hours when the casino is busy. Others may be more generous during off-peak hours when the casino is quiet. The key is to identify the patterns and use them to your advantage. Of course, casinos don't want you to know this because it gives you an edge over the house. But let me tell you, it's not just about winning big. It's also about having fun. I remember a story about a woman who won a massive jackpot on a slot machine simply by understanding how the machine worked. She was a regular player, and she took the time to learn the patterns and the rhythms of the game. And in the end, it paid off in a big way. Now, let's move on to our third and final hack, roulette strategy. You've probably heard of the martingale system, where you double your bets after each loss in the hopes of recouping your losses. But what you might not know is that this system can be flawed. The problem is, it doesn't take into account the table limits and the risk of hitting a losing streak. That's where our hack comes in, the Fibonacci system. This system involves betting in a sequence of numbers, where each number is the sum of the 2 preceding numbers. The key is to identify the patterns and use them to your advantage. By using the Fibonacci system, you can minimize your losses and maximize your wins. But here's the thing, roulette strategy is not just about winning big. It's also about managing your risk. You see, the house edge is built into the game, and it's designed to favor the casino. But by understanding the patterns and using the right strategy, you can reduce the house edge and increase your chances of winning. I remember a story about a man who used the Fibonacci system to win a small fortune at a roulette table. He was a seasoned player, and he took the time to learn the strategy, and it paid off in a big way. So, there you have it, 3 secret winning hacks that casinos don't want you to know. Of course, these hacks are not foolproof, and there's always an element of risk involved. But by understanding the strategies and using them to your advantage, you can increase your chances of winning and have a more enjoyable experience at the casino. So, the next time you walk into a casino, remember, the house may have the edge, but you have the power to turn the tables. Don't be afraid to take risks, and don't be afraid to try new things. And, most importantly, don't be afraid to walk away when you're ahead. In conclusion, winning at casinos is not just about luck. It's also about strategy and knowledge. By understanding the games and using the right techniques, you can increase your chances of winning and have a more enjoyable experience. So, go ahead, take the leap, and see what happens. And if you're feeling lucky, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more tips and tricks on how to win big at casinos.